Octopus are aliens.
That's incredible. Do you believe that?
There's no other explanation. What the hell are octopus?
Hello, welcome to Geoff Schwartz is Smarter Than You. Today's episode of Geoff Schwartz is Smarter Than You is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Today is Tuesday, August 19th. I'm Geoff Schwartz alongside Gabe Goodwin. We are covering all things National Football League, college football as we get closer. Gabe, do you know that there is a college football game this weekend that matters? Actually, 6 of them that matter in week 0. Like, we've made it, Gabe. Week 0 is this weekend. There's a game in Ireland on Saturday, 12 noon. Iowa State, Kansas State. DraftKings right now +3 for Iowa State. Did you know this? Real football's back soon.
To be totally honest with you, I did not know that. I did not know that we were calling this week 0. I did not know there was a game in Ireland, and I certainly did not know the line on the Iowa State-Kansas State game.
I know the line on about 4 of those games, unfortunately, but maybe that's just because I'm a degenerate, and we're glad you guys are here. We are back to twice a week, as you guys have seen the last couple of weeks. We're going Tuesday, we're going Thursday episodes until the regular start of the NFL regular season. We're covering divisions, so make sure to check that out. Go to Football America on YouTube. Subscribe, please. And my dog, he said subscribe too, guys, so make sure you make that happen. And please subscribe. Reviews on iTunes, on Spotify, those all help the podcast grow. We really appreciate that. And let's get into it, Gabe. Preseason week 2 in the books now.
Yeah, and I like that you started the show out by putting me on the spot to prove how little I know about certain things. That's really my job around here. The show is called Geoff Schwartz is Smarter Than You, not Gabe is Smarter Than You. I am dumber than you, but you said something in our group chat that made me go, wait a second, I can get smarter here. You think that the games on the field so far this preseason through 2 weeks have been crisper, of higher quality. We're seeing better football play. All I watch is things like Hard Knocks and my mock drafts. Like, I'm not watching tape. You seem like you are. So A, you're a nerd. Yeah. And B, what are you talking about?
Yeah, so through 2 weeks of the preseason, and of course it varies team by team, but I think the play has just been better, Gabe. I've actually enjoyed watching a lot of games where in previous years, I think we haven't enjoyed as much. Like last night, for example, let's record this on Tuesday, as I mentioned. Last night, the Bengals and Commanders played. And the Bengals defense is atrocious. Don't get me wrong. We'll talk about the Bengals in a few more minutes. But Joe Burrow played a good amount of that game. It was a good amount for the preseason, right? Like, he played a good amount in the first half. So we're seeing starters play more this preseason. So we're getting better action early in games. And when starters play, the entire team seems to think the game matters more. I've been in that spot before, but we're also seeing, again, when the starters play, they tend to care for entire fourth quarters, where like a team like Buffalo, who didn't play really any starters against the Bears, they look like they didn't want to be there. Now, the Bears, by the way, played their starters early on, and they played their butts off the entire game. We saw San Francisco and the Raiders like actually hit, like Genty trucking dudes, like there were actual hits early in that game. The other thing, Gabe, that I think is interesting when you look at the league right now and why I think the preseason has been better. Now, again, not every team, but most of them, is the backup quarterbacks are better now than I think ever before. Look at who's playing in these preseason games if you're not starting. It's guys with a lot of starts under their belt. I mean, Jameis Winston, with 87 starts, was playing the fourth quarter of a preseason game. But you look at a game as simple as Seattle and Kansas City. Gardner Minshew has played a ton of football. Sam Howell played a ton of football. Those guys got a majority of those reps in that game. And so I think all these combinations have led to better football in the preseason. Now, again, it's not regular season football. I don't know half the guys playing in the third quarter, but schematically, it feels like a lot of defenses have stuff in that's more advanced than usual. Offensively, same thing. I think these teams want to push to see what their backups can do, so they have more offense in. The last thing I'll say here, Gabe, is that coaches are going for it on fourth down in the preseason like never before. Amen. Anything, yeah, I know you hate kickers. Okay. Anything inside of 40 yards, fourth down and 7 or less. I mean, the Lions went for it, 4th and 7 at like the 32. That's a field goal kick in the regular season. Scored a touchdown on that play. And we saw overs dominate. Like, overs for the first 25 games of preseason were 20-5. It's come back to earth a little bit now in the back half of week 2. So I think it's better, Gabe. I know I'm a nerd. I know I'm watching the preseason film, but I've come away through 2 weeks thinking the product has been better, which I hope is true for the regular season.
Okay, yeah. Again, happy to have DraftKings on board with us this season. You just told us that overs in preseason games were what? 20 and...
No, well, so it was, okay, so it was 14-2 in week 1. Oh, my God. Okay?
Yeah.
And then it was started this week like 6-3, I want to say. And now we've seen some unders come in the last 7 games of the preseason week 2. I've been hitting live unders. So like halftime, taking the under for the rest of the game. I did it last night. Somehow I went home, 6 points scored in the second half of that game. So you can bet I'm telling you, the people that bet for a living, I mean, I bet for recreation. I try to win, of course. But the people that bet for a living, the sharps in Vegas, they make their money. Dude, they hammer the preseason. And a couple of those guys I follow, I work with them. They make a lot of money in the preseason. It's a very profitable endeavor for them.
All right, so we'll get a little smarter about what's going on the field. We'll also get probably sharper analysis of what picks to put in, including in week 3 of the preseason. Let me back up to something else you said, because you mentioned it very casually. Like, Joe Burrow played a lot of snaps. He looked pretty good. The first team was in. They installed some things on defense. Dude, I don't know, because again, I'm just the guy who reads the internet. I saw a clip of Joe Burrow running around looking terrified and getting buried in his own end zone. And I thought that looks like a stupid thing to do to Joe Burrow in the preseason. Yeah. And it didn't look to me like the offensive line screwed up. It looked like Joe Burrow thought it was 4th down in the playoffs and he was running for his life trying to make a play. Why would you put a franchise quarterback in a situation where he does anything but make the right throw or throw it away?
So 2 things are true on this play. One, the offensive line is bad, was bad on that play. Then Burrow just has to fall down in the preseason. Just go down, buddy. There's no point in it. The reason why they're playing Joe Burrow so much, Gabe, is because they've stunk in the first couple of weeks of the regular season now for 5 straight years. Yeah. And they cannot start slow. Their schedule this year is, I think, pretty easy, right? They have the I'm gonna look it up, but I think they have Browns and Jaguars week 1 and week 2. You got to start 2-0. Yep. You don't have a choice. That's why he's playing in the preseason. The Bengals are in a bad spot, dude. They're wasting Joe Burrow's prime years is probably not the way to say it, but it does feel that way, right? Their offensive line is bottom 5. It's a terrible offensive line. They're looking to sign players off the street. Now, look, I'll give you just a giant sort of disclaimer. If you're if you're a team signing a veteran off the street right now, it's August 19th right now. If you're doing that, the veteran's probably not very good anymore, right? Now, there are some cases like Judon, who's looking to sign somewhere, I believe, who might just be, I want to sit out training camp, right? Like that happens every now and then, and they come in to help a little bit. But if you're signing an offensive guard in the middle or to late August who's not on a team anywhere, they're probably not going to help you very much. Like you don't think any ever team who wants a guard has just like skipped on this guy? No, he's just not that valuable anymore. So I know everyone gets excited about signings that happen in late August. Like, oh, we signed this veteran to make this to help us this year to make this push. Very rare does that actually end up happening. Because again, if they were that good, they'd be in a camp already. They'd be wanted. Teams would be clamoring to sign them.
I take that very seriously coming from you because I know that you went through a few preseasons figuring out where you fit in and doing all that. So if you're saying guys kind of like you many years ago are like your missing piece in week 2 or 3 in the preseason, like that ain't a great place to be. Judon signed with the Dolphins, by the way. You mentioned the Bengals start to the season. I want to just play this out a little bit further. First 2 are easy ones, Browns, Jags, then Vikings, Broncos, Lions. Give me a record after 5-0, and is there a play here? Is there some sort of way to, mess with the futures bet, or how can we make something off of that?
Well, what you can do is DraftKings is great about this, and I've done this for some teams. You can wager on the first 5 games result, essentially. So you can, let me pull up my screen right here. If you can go to their football tab.
We did not rehearse this. This is just how this man's brain works.
You hit NFL and you go to, I believe it's going to be, well, not division specials. It might be like team specials. And you click on the first, you can click, there's a way to do first 5 weeks. I did it for the Giants. I took like first 5 weeks, like 1 or 2 wins. And you can find ways to make this happen. Right here, drive for week 5. It's right here. So there's a tab, drive for week 5. So if you go down to Cincinnati. So 3 wins is 2-1. 2 wins is basically 2.5-1. 4 wins, so 4-1 is just over 3-1. 1 win unlikely is 5.5-1. Go 5-0 is nearly 10-1. So if you think like 3-2, 4-1, you can find a way to make money there.
What do you think? I'm taking the 4-1 on that.
The thing about it is, you can probably make more money if you just take them on the money line in 2 or 3 of these games and roll it over, right? I mean, you're looking at Minnesota, at Denver. They're going to have to win one of those games, Gabe, to get to 4-1, right? I mean, they have to win Vikings.
Right, have to win both those games. It's the Lions game that is the hardest.
But that's at home at least, though. So Vikings, Broncos, Lions. If you money line these games, you might end up making more if you roll it over. But it's. I think 3-2 is probably the most likely scenario. 4-1 would be the best value here, nearly 3-1. So if I'm making a wager here, 4 wins would be the one I would make, just to get 3-1, and that's a way maybe to play that one.
Thank you. And I said that in half a sentence. It took you all that. So maybe smarter, maybe over here for that one. I got to the right answer very quickly. I was already on to the next question. Speaking of which, Cleveland,
Yes.
I don't want to spend this much time talking about the Browns, but I got to be honest, their quarterback situation is interesting. So Shedeur gives us everything to talk about week 1. Then Dillon Gabriel plays not as well, we should add. And then he makes some comments that, go viral, and everyone's talking about, how he buried Shedeur, or he's trying to, start something with his teammate. I don't know if that's exactly what happened. In either case, it doesn't matter because 900-year-old Joe Flacco was named the starter week 1 already. So both those guys are moving to the bench. They're going to start the season, theoretically, with a 4-quarterback room. We don't know how that's going to go. What do you make about this? You sort of predicted that Flacco would start and then eventually they'd move to Shedeur. But should we be surprised by how this has played out 2 weeks into preseason?
No, we shouldn't. And here's the thing we have to pay attention to when it comes to these camp battles. There's two factors, right? One is, what have they paid or what draft capital have they spent on a quarterback? That determines a lot of times who's going to start, at least early in the season. And Joe Flacco was brought in to be the starter. Right now, there's a competition with Kenny Pickett. I get that. But Flacco has had success in this offense before. And when you couple that with the second part of it, which is who's getting the first team reps, that was Joe Flacco for the most part. And Joe Flacco hasn't played in the preseason. There's nothing to change that Joe Flacco's first team rep status. If you went into this week and all of a sudden now like Sanders is getting more first team reps or Gabriel is on the regular, not just one day or one period, like they've taken over Joe Flacco's spot, then it would make sense they get to play. But neither have done that yet, right? Kenny Pickett's been hurt and hasn't played much in the preseason at all. Practice, I should say, in the preseason. So Joe Flacco was always going to win this job, in my opinion. He was brought in to win this job. This is his job to have. And it makes a lot of sense the Browns went in this direction. I think, to me, the most interesting thing has always been who is going to be the Browns' backup quarterback. I have long believed that the loser of the Flacco-Kenny competition was going to be released or traded. I mean, there's not much trade market for Kenny Pickett, I would say, but released. And then who's the backup, Sanders or Gabriel? If you go off of what I said in point 1, Gabriel was drafted in front of Sanders. So Gabriel should be in line to be quarterback too, except I think Sanders is better. And this is a rare situation, Gabe, where this quarterback position, right? Draft slot matters a lot unless you're so good, like a Brock Purdy, right? You're just that much better immediately than anyone else in your playing. Plus, they didn't have a guy really on the roster that can push him, right? At that time. But Gabriel's drafted to be a backup, in my opinion, in the third round. That's where backups get drafted. Maybe fringe starters, right? It's very rare. Look around the NFL. I think it's like 27 starting quarterbacks right now are first round picks. And the other ones are like Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, Jalen Hurts, maybe whatever happens in New Orleans, and Brock Purdy. It's all first round picks. So Gabriel's drafted to be a backup in the third round. You could make the argument Sanders was drafted to be a backup too in the fifth round. I think Sanders was drafted in the fifth round as a value play. Like the Browns looked at it and said, hey, here's a guy that can start in the NFL. He's there in the fifth round. We don't have anyone after Joe Flacco. Let's get Sanders. So in a typical order of things, Flacco would be the starter, Gabriel would be the backup, and Sanders would be quarterback 3. I think Sanders is going to be quarterback 2. I think they're going to put him ahead of Dillon Gabriel. He played better than him in the preseason. There's more upside, in my opinion, with Sanders than there is Gabriel. Look, I'm Oregon hat on right now. Watch every snap of Dillon Gabriel. What we saw from him this past weekend is what he is. I don't think there's much better it's going to become. And he slots into sort of that career backup, fringe starter type of player.
Yeah. We talk a lot about how the veteran is going to teach the rookie, right? And we got the epitome of a veteran in Joe Flacco and the epitome of a couple unproven rookies in these two guys you just mentioned. Wait, that always feels like BS to me. Like, what does Joe Flacco care about making Shedeur Sanders good one day? Like, I bet he doesn't even get along with Dillon Gabriel. Like, why am I to believe that Joe Flacco is spending any energy thinking about the future of these two guys when at best he's just trying to hold on to his job for another year or two?
He's not. So this idea of mentorship is interesting to me. So we've had other quarterbacks straight up come out and say, I'm not someone's mentor. Like Eli said this before Big Ben, because they're right. Their job is to win games in the present. It's not to make sure their direct competition is ready to succeed them and replace them at some point, right? That's not the purpose of quarterback 1. But there also then is the what I think is the mentorship that happens, Gabe, which is the older player will answer questions, right? Is willing to talk about preparation with the young player, is willing to help that young player when he sees fit, and just be a friend and a mentor to that player. But again, not overtly going out of their way to make sure they're good, but just being someone they can ask questions to, be friendly with. It's really what Alex Smith did with Patrick Mahomes, right? Right. Patrick Mahomes credits Alex Smith for this. Then the flip side, of course, is like very clearly Aaron Rodgers was not mentored by Brett Favre at all. Like he was shunned by the veteran. That to me is wrong. You should be able to, as an older player, do your job and also help a younger player just get acclimated to the sport. Yeah, and Joe Flacco, like he's a 1-year deal. What does he care about next year's quarterback? Also, he's 40. Yeah. How much do you think he's going to get along with guys that are in their mid-20s? I don't. So I think Joe Flacco will lead by just example, and that's about it.
Yeah, okay. We talked about how there's 4 guys in that quarterback room. And Hank, you know this better than anyone. When Hank does like real research and puts like extra facts into this script or rundown we run off of, it's usually just to troll one of us. So here we go. He'd like to point out that in 2016, these are the last 2 times a team apparently started the season with a 4 quarterback room. The 16 Jets with Geno, Fitz, Hackenberg, and Petty. The implication here is, those guys sucked and they started with 4 quarterbacks. Ha ha, Gabe. And then just to rub some salt in the wound, the 2000 Pats started with Bledsoe, Brady, John Freeze, and Michael Bishop. Okay, great, Hank. Yeah. We get what you're implying here. So he wants to know from you, which will it be? That crappy 5-11 Jets team, or, of course, the beginning of the Patriots dynasty?
I think it'll be the crappy Jets team is my guess what happens in Cleveland this season. Yeah. There's no dynasty starting in Cleveland, in my opinion.
I don't think so either. And by the way, Fitzpatrick the year prior with that Jets roster was an incredible player, Hank. I know this happened over 10 years ago, so it's hard for you to keep track of things like that, but they were a great team the prior year with Fitz at quarterback.
Was that your last year as a Jets fan?
Honestly, was the last year that I was happy about the Jets, that season with Fitz. And spoke to him that offseason at a Super Bowl party. I might have had a few. And I implored him to stick around and keep things going, and it didn't really work out.
I think you're going to be a Jets fan in the future. I think Aaron Glenn's going to get you back in there when they play with a little toughness, a little physicality, and bring some of that like just passion for the game back in that building. Quarterback's going to be a problem for them this year. I bet the Jets under, by the way, after this weekend. I don't make a lot of wagers, because of preseason, but their quarterback room this year, it's Fields, Tyrod Taylor, like Adrian Martinez and Brady Cook. That is a bad quarterback room, buddy. That's not good. I don't like.
Tyrod can easily win 9 games for them, but they'll probably not make him the starter. Like every other
Fields
team who's chosen not to start him. I don't understand. He's one of those guys. It's like clearly he's better. He's like the Bridgewater of the next generation. Like obviously that guy's better than your starter. Why aren't you just playing him? But they never.
I bet him and Bridgewater are close to the same age.
Yeah, they probably are. I'm just thinking he's still around. Although, by the way, did you see Teddy Bridgewater gets fired as a high school coach because he's not following the rules? Boom, signs as a backup quarterback.
I think he wasn't following the rules because he was trying to feed his players. Like it's such a BS reason he was fired. It was like he wasn't breaking.
I'm not accusing him of anything. I'm just saying he did get fired.
That's what he was. He was fired
rules.
for breaking the rules. But I think it was he was doing things for the kids he wasn't allowed to do, as far as like feeding them and taking care of them, which again, it's a dumb way to get fired, but it is what it is. All right, guys, if you're on YouTube, we aren't going anywhere. We're going to take a quick break for audio. Be back in a second.
We're back, Jeff. Let's not make him wait. We don't want Hank having to hit the edit button too many times. That's how mistakes get made. So let's just keep this thing rolling.
Did I say something stupid? Did I meant
No,
we're good. We're ready to go.
I'm treating this like we're live. Can I read some tweets to you? Because I want to get smarter.
You said edit. I thought I made a boo boo. We kept my last boo boo in, and for the first show, it was kind of funny though when I messed the start up. That was great.
Well, not only did we keep it in, we embellished it and made it into art. We wanted the whole world to hear it.
It was fantastic.
Yeah. Well, hey, we're rolling here. The audience is watching or listening wherever they get their pod. Yeah. Part of you making us smarter means, when our brains go a little galaxy mode on Twitter, we need you to bring us back down to earth a bit. All right. Now, this first tweet I want to pull up here, this feels to me like preseason news that will impact the Super Bowl. A lot of reports out there, including from Ian Rappaport, usually gets things right. Not looking good with Trey Hendrickson and the Bengals. Very likely, I guess, that he could be moving. Sack leader last year, clearly one of the best defensive linemen out there. This feels to me like if they deal him or he finds his way to another team, he will be a huge impact on that team. And we could be talking about, man, when they scored him for nothing, that's when they became a Super Bowl contender. Yeah?
This is a very interesting situation here because the Bengals don't want to guarantee him 2 years. He wants 2 years guaranteed, right? He's 30 years old. And I bet they have some numbers that show them that at 30 years old, players decline. And that's probably true, right? I mean, I know when I got to 30, I got older and fatter, but I'm not Trey Hendrickson, right? I'm not playing at my best football at age 30. My career was winding down. There are a lot of players now with the way guys train and eat and prepare and rehab and prehab and all the treatment options they have. They play much longer. They play much better. The thing about Trey Hendrickson, he's been very steady as they come. He had 13 sacks in 2020, 14, 8. I think he was a little injured in 22, and 17 and a half, 2 straight years. So, I mean, that double-digit sacks now in 4 to 5 years. Just pay him, Cincinnati. It's not very difficult. Give him his guaranteed money for 2 years. If you don't get that production, I think you just shrug your shoulder and say, it just didn't work, but we tried. Don't you want to try to be better? Yes. I saw a tweet that basically said the other day, like, who'd be a perfect fit for Trey Hendrickson? The Bengals. The Bengals would be a good fit for him. Like that's the team. They have to keep him. He's what they need. And the Bengals are just so stubborn. They just refuse to see the big picture of this. And you're absolutely right. A contender will trade for him, and he'll get a big sack in a playoff game, and the Bengals will be sitting at home because they can't rush the passer again. And this is a position of need for them. Just pay him the money, dude. Like, sometimes you break your principles because it's sort of the thing you have to do to make your team better. And give him the money, get him back in the building, and let him be a Bengal. So I agree with you though. If he gets traded, man, he's going somewhere that he'll have a big impact.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to skip around a little and keep on this theme. Game wrecking defensive ends, linemen who, terrify quarterbacks and are supposedly worth a point or half a point or whatever on defense, but not getting their love right now. Micah Parsons, Troy Aikman sort of seems like he's taken his side. His leverages, they can't win without him. That's what Troy was quoted as saying about Micah. Obviously not working for Jerry's side of the negotiation on that comment. What do you make of the latest there? And could we have two of the best pass rushers in football changing teams?
The Parsons thing, dude, is even more crazy because the numbers are so stark and clear when he's on the field since he's been in the NFL. Bill Barnwell had this, former lead researcher for Geoff Schwartz.
Is that right? That's his main credit. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to DM him because I didn't know how to use basically the Pro Football References search engine very well, and I would just send him a DM. Hey, can you look this up for me? And he would find the answer for me.
So Bill Barnwell is your grok. That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years. I have better tools now to help me find information. Thankfully, thank you Pine Sports for that. But he was my lead researcher for a while. All right. When he plays, they are number one in the NFL in EPA. I have to point that out on defense. So number one efficiency, just plainly stated. When he's out, they fall to near the bottom of the NFL. He's that impactful of a player. And I know Jerry Jones likes the drama. I get it. He craves the drama. But they've cost themselves so much money by just not paying him a year ago, and so much sort of equity in their team by not paying him. The players notice it. The former players notice it. And everything can be made right by paying him. But we're now on August 19th. The season starts September 7th. And your best player is not practicing. He's not part of your team, really. And just for what purpose? Just to not pay him exactly what he wants? He's one of those guys where you just write the check, man. Here's the check. Here you go. Here's what you want. It's yours. You're the best player in your position in the NFL, and you help us tremendously. So everyone's talking about it. Former Cowboys, current Cowboys, everyone's talking about how they have to pay this guy. They just won't do it.
Yeah. Okay, well, one guy who's getting paid to try to become the next him over in the Giants rookie world is Abdul Carter. Now, all anyone wanted to talk about lately was him getting knocked down by a Jets offensive line, and then he clapped back. I think that's how the kids say it. Might be the only highlight of the Jets all season, and we put BTA, weak-ass Chip, ate that MF like barbecue. Okay, well, so I don't know exactly how to speak like Abdul Carter, but he got smushed.
Yeah.
Is that too much being made of that?
No. Okay. So obviously we like to highlight chip blocks. It's very awesome when they happen as an offensive lineman, and they're made for great social clips, right? You hit a guy goes flying, and then as you try to get up the right tackle, knocked him down as well. So it was beautiful. Did you know what BTA means? I had to figure this out.
I'm afraid to ask you that question. Are we sure we want to get into this?
I think it's belt to ass. I think that's what it is, BTA. Yeah.
What now? Give me what the hell's that mean?
The Giants won 31-12. They kicked their ass. So we beat your ass.
To ass.
Yeah.
Like an old school. Okay.
Yeah. I think that's what it means.
All right.
This was as lame as a response as you can get from a young football player. Buddy, you got to let it go, man. This makes it 100 times more fun to watch this clip, how you respond on social media. You're going to have bad plays. They're going to be highlighted. It's not even a bad play. He got chipped. He didn't see the guy coming. He fell down. Whoop-de-doo. It happens. It's part of the NFL. And to have this response, he's going to have this response to every bad play he ever has that's highlighted on social media. This to me is not the way to handle it. He's young and maybe he'll figure it out, but this made it so much better. It made it it's an offensive lineman in me. I was like, great. We got a defensive lineman to respond on social media to getting chipped in a preseason game. can we get under his skin more during the regular season? Like, what can we do here to get under his skin? So I just thought the response was so unnecessary, and maybe someone in that Giants building will tell him, like, hey, man, like, next time, just let it go.
I'm thinking of a former teammate of yours and a famous Giant who the league figured out you could get under his skin easily and made life hell for him. And he probably never actually achieved the level he should have based on his talent, because every player in the league knew they could whisper something in his ear and get him way out of focus. And that was OBJ. In different position, different situation, but like, do players like you know how to just whisper the right thing to a guy who clearly can't control himself?
Okay, so I'm going to Fo agrees with that. So here's a good story, Gabe. So we were playing someone in 2013, a defensive lineman, and one of our offensive linemen knew him decently well, and he said he under his skin. And our goal for that game, all right, was every single play, one offensive lineman had to come up to him and call him a name. Sometimes that name started with a B, and you had to just say it to him, to his face, every single play. One offensive lineman of the five of us, every single play, went up to him and called him a name. It enraged him. He was so angry, and he couldn't play to his full ability because he was so angry the entire game. Oh, so much fun. Oh,
how was it when it was your turn? You were okay with that?
Yeah, I didn't care. So my shit talking rule essentially was, I normally didn't start anything, but I also didn't take it. So if you wanted to come at me, we were gonna go at it. I was not one to start it often, except obviously this one instance. But I wasn't gonna let it go. I wasn't gonna let you bully me and talk about me. And look, the opposite was also true. Where like a guy like Haloti Ngata, former Oregon Duck, my teammate there. The rule was to not get him fired up.
Yeah.
So you were just like, hey, how you doing, sir? Like, good to see you today. Hey, nice play, buddy. Like, you just never make him angry. Never make him angry. So the opposite's also true. But we called this guy a B the entire day, and it was quite fun.
I like that story. All right, let's keep flipping through some of the internet offerings here. I'm going to go down to this one, and I'm going a little bit blind here. I like conspiracy theories. Okay.
Shocking.
Yeah. Well, right. And sometimes they're hard to believe. This one I feel like is airtight. Okay. Stafford died weeks ago. That is, so here you see one tweet, obvious clone. They've put a circle on him. Okay. Here we got, they're comparing his teeth from not long ago to now. They look different. See, wake up, people. And then, of course, thank you very much for Super Sauce XL post. Oh, right. And this seems normal to you. And he's got a circle on every single body part. Now, I don't want to, fuel this too much, but these guys are making a very good point, aren't they?
What was the first account? Karen McGee, mother of two.
Let's not worry about who the accounts were. They're very credible people, all of them.
Karen, mother of two. Thank you for letting us know your status as a mother. Look, I said this about Mike Florio the other day.
Oh boy, now we're transitioning to Florio here.
Because, Pro Football Talk, you can make any conspiracy if you want to. It's that simple, right? Like, and this is not just about Stafford. This obviously is a joke, but like, you can make anything you want into conspiracy, and he does often, right? He often makes things into conspiracies because that's how he gets the most clicks on his website. If you want to turn Rashee Rice not getting suspended immediately into conspiracy, you can make a conspiracy. You can make a conspiracy that Stafford died weeks ago if you want to. If you want to be conspiracy guy, you can do it for anything. There's conspiracies right now. So there's a hurricane off the East Coast, right? It's not going to really touch us. It's going to turn right and kind of go, but North Carolina might get some wind at the beach. And there's conspiracies that this is like they're not telling us the truth about the hurricane. You can be whatever conspiracy you ever want, Gabe. If you want to think Matt Stafford died, you can think Matt Stafford died. We all know he didn't die. We know he didn't die. But if you want it to be true, you can make it to be true.
I mean, I'm not sure we all know that, but okay, fair enough. I mean, I've seen the pictures, You
are conspiracy guy though. We differ on this a lot. You are You're a conspiracy.
Can I tell you, when I saw, I'll give you my conspiracies at some point later in the show when, barely anyone is stuck around for it. But my first thought when I saw Stafford take the field was, and wearing the classic Stafford backwards baseball cap was, our boy Colin's got his A block. A quarterback in LA with a name brand walking onto the field with a backwards cap. The guy's got material for 20 minutes straight.
You know the thing about Colin's backwards hat take is he's absolutely right about head coaches. Like, put your hat forward.
He's always said coaches and quarterbacks.
Yes, that's all he said. Correct.
I don't think he cares if, wide receiver or running back, you do whatever you want.
But he only cares about it at press conferences, though, right? Like, if Stafford turns his hat forward for the press conference, it's fine. You wear a backwards hat outside of the press conference, I believe. They're very specific. What I love about Colin's the best, obviously, is like he knows exactly what he's doing with this bit, and exactly what he's doing. Every time he does it, he gets 10 million impressions. He makes so much money every time he has this take. It's a wonderful reoccurring bit he does, and he believes it. I truly believe he believes it. But he's right, though. Coaches should wear their hats forward at press conferences.
It's for Colin, it's like a Grateful Dead song. Everyone kind of knows the chorus, and they know the parts they love, but that song's different every single time they perform it, man. It's a beautiful thing. You see Althea in one concert, and then 15 years later, you see it again. A few of the lyrics are the same. Every note they play, man, feels a little different. A groovy jam. That's how Colin's backwards hat take works.
Are you bummed, by the way, that Oregon is doing the Grateful Dead game not for USC? That would have been probably your dream.
I am bummed, but we don't make a lot of sense as the Grateful Dead team. The Cal makes a lot more sense. We're
playing Wisconsin, though.
Oh, I thought it was a Cal-Oregon game.
No, Cal and Oregon aren't in the same conference anymore.
The people who come in from Wisconsin are going to hate seeing all those hippies in tie-dye. That's not going to work.
It's Wisconsin. It should have been USC, I think.
Okay. All right. I didn't know that. I'm rescinding my offer to come up to Eugene with you for the Grateful Dead game. Can we flip through a couple more of these real quick?
Yes, let's do a few more, yes.
Juju's boyfriend got a grill. Bottom teeth are all icy and gold, I guess. Do we think this makes the breakout star of last year better or worse this year?
Wait. Are they actually dating?
Oh, I don't know. Oh. I don't want to mislead you and tell you that I know that for sure, but that's been a rumor.
I figured you would know USC women's basketball gossip.
Well, I helped sort of make it known. I saw him on the sidelines unreferenced at a USC game, and I told some people, like, what's he doing there? And then we saw them together. The whole country saw them together at one point. And then the rumors started. But yeah, I don't know. They're certainly friends. I have no idea if they're dating.
I think they're actually cousins. So that would change. That would make dating not happen, I guess. But that would be a power couple if they're not cousins.
This is a landmine field here. I think we should move on. Can you translate the next two topics? I need your help translating.
Okay.
All right. So Terry McLaurin and Brian Robinson, they're not showing up to anything for the Commanders. Fantasy players might care. Hank cares too much. Do we care? I don't care.
No, I don't care.
I'd say, by the way,
I want to do this O-line gibberish one.
Yeah, I think we're maybe one more reference to Commanders skill players in this rundown away from putting them on the banned list. We're close. So careful, Hank. These next two I need translation on. The first, I don't think you can help. The second, I know you can. What the hell is going on with your boy Justin Herbert and someone named Madison Beer, and why am I supposed to care that a hot quarterback in LA is dating a good-looking pop star? Why is this a topic?
I didn't know who Madison Beer was till yesterday. Congratulations. I mean, this is what you're supposed to be doing when you're 6'6" and worth millions of dollars and good looking and a quarterback of an NFL team. You date a pop star. I think this is par for the course for those who are unaware of how Los Angeles works.
Yeah, but Dumois posted about it. We just saw the Hater Report put it up and very sarcastically acted like, like him dating a pop star was somehow a derelict in his duties as a quarterback. This felt so confusing to me that it was a topic that I started trying to Google her and figure out more.
Yeah,
I now know.
Yeah,
well,
I'm sure
I don't want to get into what I found. I'm just going to say this is unremarkable. We're clearly missing something the whole world is seeing.
No, I also had to Google search yesterday as well. So I think it's, I don't know, man. I mean, what's funny is we like people, not me, I could care less who you date, but people look at quarterbacks that have families and think that's a plus. And quarterbacks that don't, one specifically, is a minus, right? Like I would feel like him starting a family, people would think that's a plus in a quarterback.
Yeah, well, every year is the year that we expect Justin Herbert to get back to the level he had his sophomore year. And I'm certainly one of those people. I draft him in fantasy every year as a reformed Jets fan who's turned Chargers fan. I'm obviously rooting for him. Let's go the other way. Could a little bit of like swag maybe help Justin Herbert? Is he a little too humble? Is dating a, young, cool influencer maybe gonna, up the ante a little bit for Justin Herbert?
I guess. I mean, we've had quarterbacks date like influencers and popular figures in their industries, and I mean,
like Joe Burrow's had some success after. Does
Jared Goff have more swag now? He married a swimsuit model. Like, is it more swag there?
That's probably helping my case.
Yeah, I think it is helping.
Ever since we met his girlfriend on Hard Knocks, I feel like the guy's had an upward trajectory.
That is very true.
Yeah.
It's going well. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe for some guys, it's hey, get your butt at home. Help with the kids. Be calm and quiet. Don't be out late. Stay focused. For other guys, maybe it's like don't be such a nerd. Spice it up a little bit.
I'm glad for Herbert. He cut the hair. He's maturing. He's dating a pop star. He's living the LA life. So remember, people said he couldn't. He's only been Eugene and Gabe, and he can't leave Eugene. Small town Justin Herbert, and small town anymore.
You like value on MVP odds for him? I feel like we can make something off that.
I do not. No.
Okay. All right. Last one. This is the one that's going to get you really excited. If Madison Beer didn't get things moving for you, this might. The tweet says, Tyler Booker in his anchor putting Peebles in cuffs before getting into his fit on the reach, repositioning and straightening to laterally displace the 4i. What in the F does that mean?
I think he meant to say people in cuffs. I think Thorne, I could text Thorne right now and ask him, Tyler Booker, maybe I'll text Thorne and see what he says.
Just tell me what the hell all these words mean. Let's not worry about every detail. So
essentially, Peebles is the defensive lineman. Okay, that's what it is.
Tyler Booker in his anchor putting Peebles in cuffs. Start there. What the hell does that mean?
He just has his hands on him and he's locked him down.
Okay, before getting into his fit on the reach.
So your fit is basically your aiming point where you're supposed to be on a reach block.
Repositioning and straining to laterally displace the 4i.
Yeah, so basically he was probably in a bad fit or Peebles moved and he repositioned himself, and then the strain is like the finish and the displace obviously is to move.
Okay, so now say the whole thing back to me in English so I understand it.
So basically he's saying that he got his hands on him, got a good fit, started to move him. Peebles moved a little bit. He repositioned and finished the block.
So he did good blocking?
Yes.
He blocked good?
I didn't see this tweet from Thorne. I gotta ask him about
here's the thing I love about you guys. There's a whole little community of linemen turned dorks. And you guys love the lingo. You can't get enough lingo. Right? When you can just say, man, he really blocked the crap out of that guy. You say 900 words. You max out what X will give you to talk about a block. Why is that? Why can't you guys just be normal?
I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at the clip right now.
See, you don't even want to listen to what I'm asking. You're just going to watch tape.
It's two separate plays. That's why. See, this is why it matters. It's two separate plays. You should have put the comma in the tweet. Is two separate plays. The first one.
Oh my God! You're fixing the grammar now. This wasn't dorky enough.
No, this makes a lot of sense. They're two separate plays. So the first play, he's just anchoring. He's anchoring. I thought it was one play. That's why the video is important. He's anchoring on pass protection. So he just cuffed him up, right? Like he got his hand inside, he anchored, just like boom. And then the next one is a reach block where the comma actually doesn't separate both plays. It's a before. And then the other one, he's just reach blocking someone. So they're two separate plays. That makes more sense now.
Okay. Do you guys, when you're playing in the NFL, like every friend group, has like the dork, but the dork can have great value. There's something about the dork that everyone loves. How are you all viewed in a locker room talking the way that you talk? Like if you and your buddy on the offensive line started talking about repositioning the 4-eye, does a wide receiver walk by and just make fun of you?
They just don't talk to us.
They just ignore you guys, right?
Yeah, they stay away from us, yeah.
That's the best you can hope for, is they don't pick on you. They're just like, all right, leave those nerds alone. They help.
Yeah, we're our own little group. We're by ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just I think like podcast producers probably, right? Just hang out by themselves.
Come on, man. Don't do that. I mean, can't punch down, Geoff. I'm allowed to punch up. Hey, I saw one other thing. Was it Dickerson? But your boy in Philly showed up to practice with basically a briefcase full of beers.
Yeah.
And on the practice field just starts handing out beers and everyone's drinking beers. Now, I get it. I'm sure drills were over. I'm sure they're allowed to do whatever they want. Coaches are okay with like one of their players showing up and handing a bunch of guys who just worked out beers.
So it was after a joint practice between Browns and Eagles. And yes, this is like the old school football. I'm sure Stoutland, the Eagles offensive line coach, has been around when players would have beers after practice. So I'm not during training camp.
I get it, but like on the field?
Yeah, I mean, probably not great, but not great for the kids, right?
I don't care. I'm just thinking like if I'm a coach of a team and I'm trying to get my guys in shape, we're literally here to get in shape. And you can't even like take a shower before you crack a beer? That doesn't look great to me.
I feel like a few beers is okay. Just take the edge off.
Nobody likes a few beers more than me. I'm just saying we're literally still on the job of getting in shape.
Yeah. I mean, you run like little triathlons. A beer or two probably after a training session doesn't hurt your training, does it?
I don't know, but I don't think that it would it doesn't make anyone more confident that I'm going to run the fast triathlon if every time I go for like a hard bike, then I cracked a couple Miller Lights.
It sounds like you don't like fun.
I love fun.
That's what it sounds like.
I love
fun.
Like
you're not a fan of fun.
For the record, I wanted to drink beers with those guys. I just thought that was a strange place to do it.
It might have been a sponsorship too. Like I think the cooler was a sponsor and the beers might have been a sponsor. You're taking
the fun out of this, Geoff.
Everything for the views. Okay. We're going to take one more break for the podcast. YouTube, we're staying here and we'll talk a little college football news. All right. We're back, Gabe. One college football item to note before the regular season begins. And I don't like it. I don't like it, Gabe.
I'm glad you instantly don't like it because I don't understand it. I guess the Big Ten wants to expand the college football playoff beyond to 24 or maybe even 28 teams. Like, wait, where does this end?
Do you know who I put the blame for this whole process?
Tell me.
Starting at the beginning, your USC Trojans. If they decline the Big Ten's invite, then we're not even here. We're not here. It's USC's fault, as usual, for everything bad that happens in college football.
Please explain what you mean. You're being very sarcastic right now, and I think the audience deserves to understand what the hell you're saying.
Well, USC was the first to jump ship from the Pac-12 to the Big Ten, and they created a domino effect, obviously, of where we're at now. But then again, Texas and Oklahoma had already left the Big 12 to the SEC, right, before USC did. Really, what's so funny about all this, by the way, is that in 2010, the Pac-10 was very close, Gabe, to adding Texas, Oklahoma State, maybe A&M, like 6 schools from the Big 12 to form a 16-team conference. But ESPN came in at the last minute and gave Texas the Longhorn Network, and the Pac-12's refusal to include the Longhorn Network on basically a Pac-12 network, some sort of affiliate thing that ruined the ability for Texas to join the Pac-12. Like that was a Pac-10 that was going to happen, which is kind of funny. The Pac-12, ironic, right? The Pac-12 ended up dying in this when they were the first ones to try to do this. So look, there's talk about playoff expansion, right? And the Big Ten has been very, they've had this point essentially where they want automatic qualifiers to be part of any conversation. So whether it's going from 12 to 16, or whether it's 16 up to this, whatever, 24, 28, they're a big stick on automatic qualifiers, right? And that means basically a certain number of teams from every conference makes the postseason. And their argument has been that we want league play, so play on the field, to decide whether you make the postseason tournament rather than a bunch of people in a room deciding who makes the postseason tournament. And I get that sentiment. I truly do. But the issue I have with all of this is the why, Gabe. Look, the why is money. Let's throw that out there. We know that, but like throw that away for a second. The point of a postseason is to crown a champion, right? Like that's the point of a playoff system. And college football, while I think parity is higher than maybe it's ever been with NIL and the portal, like there's a lot of good teams. There's only a handful of teams that can win the championship. Do you know the last first-time winner in college football was, I believe, Florida in like 1997? That's the last time a first-time team has won. Think about that. Think about the NBA and baseball and even the NFL. And think about the first time a team has won a championship. It's not been since 1997, right? But this is what the sport is. The top of the sport has always been. So people make the argument that opening up the playoff will allow Cinderellas and upsets. It absolutely will not. I continue to make this point. When a longer playoff helps teams that have more talent and more depth. Because you need that to withstand 4, 5, 6 game playoff. And do we really want to see an 8-5 Big Ten team play an 8-5 SEC team in a playoff? No, we don't. No one wants to see that. And the thing is that like if they put this out there, Gabe, we might get there. Does that mean the season starts in August and ends in the NBA All-Star break? Like how long is this season going to last if you have a 12-team regular season followed by a 24-20 team playoff? Maybe USC can make the playoff with a 28 team though, which is good for you guys. So I just look, it's for the money and no one else. It's not for the fans. It's not for the fans. It's not for the teams. It's not for the betterment of the sport. It's for money. It's because there's an arms race right now to make as much money as possible to be able to fund these NIL programs and this new house settlement, the $20 million. And the way you do that is you have more playoff games.
Okay. I'm not taking the bait you tried to throw out there with USC. I will remind you that Ohio State was an 8 seed that beat your Ducks, a 1 seed. So these things happen. Just, these things happen. And to your point about
but Ohio State, well, here's the thing. Okay. Ohio State, if you were, again, last year they were an 8 seed because of the dumb, 1, 2, 3, 4 had to be like in a regular year they wouldn't be an A seed, right? They'd be a 5 or 6 or even a 4 seed with the Michigan loss. But again, they're still in that bucket of teams that can win a championship, no matter where they are. They're ranked, they're 24th or they're first. They're one of the bucket of teams that can win. And that bucket is small. It's like 7 teams, right? Like let's say entering the season, right? It's Penn State, it's Ohio State, it's Oregon, it's Texas, it's Georgia, and maybe, Clemson's up there as well. Mm-hmm. And, maybe you have a Bama pop this year, LSU pop this year. That's it. Those are the teams. No one else is winning a championship this season.
All right. Well, I don't like the sound of what you just described, but I also want to take issue with, you said it sort of in passing like it was obvious, but nobody wants to watch an 8-5 SEC team versus whatever, an 8-4, 8-5 Big Ten team was your claim. Well, right, but that's what we're presented with at this time of year anyway. So why not make that have some stakes, and why not let the winner of that see if they can get hot? Yeah, well, I mean, that's a bowl game.
Yeah. Well, bowl games obviously are different now because the attendance of those bowl games is different than it used to be.
But I mean, we're supposed to watch that and care about that now, except we don't usually get the best players, and nobody is really trying to win that game. If that game got you the chance at the number one team, I think you'd try.
I actually think you would have players that are in the 23rd seed sit out their playoff game and not play if they were.
You really think so?
Out. Yeah, I think if they were a lower seed, yeah, I think so.
You think this would creep to the point where I'm a surefire first round pick who's already decided it's over. I'm going. I'm a defensive end. You're gonna play one more game to just get your ass kicked by a team in the second round. I just don't know. I think we're gonna still have some opt-outs. And this is, I guess, if this is the way to stop opt-outs, maybe that's the way to. This is the way you're doing it. But also, these are games on campus, which will be fun. But I think players will still take opportunity to sit these out if they think their team can't win a championship. Can I spitball an idea here? This in honor of my buddy Kevin Wild. Oh, half-baked idea. What if we steal from the NBA a little bit and we take the NBA Cup thing that they've installed that I don't even completely understand? What if we say that these non-conference matchups that are sort of like featured games every season, and we know they're there for TV, but they're also there because it's kind of fun to watch two top 10 teams play each other out of conference. What if those carry a certain amount of weight, defined weight? It's not just subjective. Now, like, that game will matter more because of this point system that we install into the playoff process. How could that change things? And could we schedule more of those types of games?
So we're basically saying that Texas, Ohio State would matter more.
A lot. You just said it. Those are two teams that could win a national title. They're playing each other. The loser has a serious problem after week 1 of the season that they will have to overcome for 10 or 11 straight weeks. If that game calculated in a different way and raised stakes in a different way, would more teams take more of those games? Because right now, I think it's a fine line between wanting that type of game or not.
I don't even know how you would make that work, Gabe. I don't know what that even look like to give more points. So, I mean, I think they reward those games in the standings at the end of the season. They reward the loser of that game more than they reward someone losing a game like Alabama did to Oklahoma last year. They reward Texas and Ohio State just by playing that game.
But I'm just saying, having the guts to take that game.
I love it. I think more teams should. I think the expanded playoff would help with that, though. Teams would be more willing to take those games if they're not missing the postseason anymore if they lose.
Yeah. Okay. So we're starting to get somewhere. See, half baked. It's not perfect. We got weeks to figure this out. Months. Sure. All right. Well, Tony Petitti is the new Big Ten guy, and he should be noted. He is a TV guy in his past. So
every time we interview him on the radio, which in Big Ten media, he's very nice. He's very forthcoming with answers, and I enjoy interviewing him.
Good reputation. I met him many, many, many years ago. Seemed like a good dude. What I'm saying is his background is coming up in television, so I think he very much has TV in mind.
Of course he does. Yeah. So do you. You have a TV background there. We'll be on TV soon. This show is going to be so popular one day. All right. I think that's it for Geoff Schwartz this morning. You. Thank you, Gabe. We'll be back on Thursday with some more division previews with Matt. Thank you to DraftKings as usual. And we'll see you next week for this episode. We'll see you Thursday with Matt. Take care, everybody.